No click. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, I've got war on in the background. I've got fighting. I've got live pictures from Libya going on in the background, and it's not what the BBC have been saying. Let's list the lies. So it just turns out the mainstream media have admitted that British intelligence have played a key role in the overthrowing of Gaddafi, having MI5, MI6, and SAS operating on the ground for a while now. Apparently, the strategy to take over Tripoli was formulated weeks ago, and this conservative government, okay, have been supplying these Libyan rebels, inverted commas, with night vision and body armor. So who's guilty of the bigger crime? NATO have just killed 1,300 people within 12 hours. They just did a 12-hour bombing. Right? All of you guys are so focused on, oh, black people are the new, they're going to loot us and they're going to rape us in our beds. And under cover of all of this fear, what's transpired? Well, Dominic Strauss-Kahn has had his rape charges dropped under cover of war. So let me think, the guy that was going to be the guy that was the head of the IMF, the guy that didn't want to give bailouts, has now been brought down very publicly. I believe Seaman stains are, they've done a Monica Lewinsky on him and accused him of rape and let him go. So basically they've ruined his career and they've ruined the prospects of him becoming Prime Minister of France. What else are we neglecting to look at? Oh, the Pakistani droves killing wedding parties and entire families in their tens and hundreds. Oh, don't worry about that because we've got a nice war going. Oh yeah, don't forget the Bahraini slaughter. Yeah, the Murdoch scandal, phone hacking into dead kids' mobile phones while they're still searching for the child, okay, and deleting messages. The Murdoch scandal. Then what do we have straight after the Murdoch scandal? Which way looting? Which way do you want to look? Which way do you want to look? Which thing is keeping you occupied and busy? Gold is at an all-time high, but then I said that before. Look how many things you got on your plate. And it's all a diversion. All of these different things are a diversion away from the economy and from the oil war. Okay, the Conservative government have launched an oil war. Well, not just the Conservative government. I believe Tony Blair was instrumental in setting up Gaddafi to have his funds transferred into various different accounts, which were then going to steal his money. And so the riots in Tottenham are nothing. The riots in Tottenham are absolutely nothing. It was just a ploy to blame black people for the social unrest that was always going to happen while the Conservatives concocted their plan to kill brown people in Libya. But don't worry about all the damage that happened in Tottenham because I'm sure the country will make its money back on the Libyan gold and the Libyan oil. And what are young people doing? What are young people doing about it? Not one single protest for young people. Why? Because they're too busy trying to loot JD Sports and get some trainers, trying to get new Blackberries, because that's what's important to young people. It's taken many years of dumbing down, but you finally got young people so stupefied that they can't see that they're part of a murdering imperialistic war machine. Now, NATO have just bombed Tripoli, the capital, consistently, the heaviest bombing in the entire campaign. 12 hours straight bombing, killing 1,300 people and wounding around 1,000 people. Okay, nothing on the news. And while they did that, everybody had to keep their heads down. It's a tactic known as blitzkrieg, and it was employed by the Nazis. It's where you do intense, heavy saturation bombing, so everyone has to get their heads down, and then you sink the invasion with the end of the bombing, and everybody rushes in. And while everyone's had their heads down, you got this ragtag rebel force rushing in to take over Tripoli. This is not a real revolution. This is a NATO-funded coup, okay? So the reports have already come out of special boat teams landing in Tripoli. So this is imperialism 2000. The Transitional Council leader, first thing he did as soon as they got a foothold in Tripoli was run off to France. Why are you running off to France? What are you running off to France for? You're running off to France to see Sarkozy because basically they are your paymasters. Now, what you're seeing is the rape of Libya. And what's it got to do with you young people? Well, actually, you're involved because when a disgruntled Libyan comes back to bomb England and they blow you up, you deserve it. because you are part of the economic system that's oppressing people around the world. Okay, but there'll be no demonstrations by young people. They're too busy looting. Okay, as for black people, give me don't you know there've been lynchings in Libya? The NATO rebels have been lynching black people from lampposts in Libya. Okay, obviously you're not going to know about that, and what's that got to do with you anyway? Because you can't. No one's rapping off a lamppost, are they? No one. You can't get trainers, and there's no BB on with a hung Negro on a lamppost, is there? Right, and the NATO states are financing this to the tune of $1 billion. They're going to be financing this transitional council to the tune of about $1 billion, so they can get their hands on the oil. So all of this recession and cutbacks and the bad economic mess left by the Labour Party is all bollocks, because they can fund a war. They turn on your TV. Now, who do you think will rebuild? Who do you think is going to rebuild? If they say Halliburton, this is just a joke, okay? And let me ask you another question about these rebels. Have any of you seen any of these rebels actually aim their gun? I mean, they haven't. I don't see them aiming their gun. All I do is see them pointing down the road and then just shooting. So if anybody looks like a terrorist, those are exactly what terrorists. Even the woman described them as these young kids in t-shirts, in flip-flops, right? Those are terrorists, yeah, with guns that they can't manage properly. Those are terrorists. So the BBC have been lying to you in the worst way. Oh, what was the other big doozy? Gaddafi's sons were captured. Saif al-Islam, you know, the one with the bald head and the glasses, who's pointing his finger, right? So apparently he was captured, then he made an amazing escape. The fact of the matter is, he wasn't captured. They were just trying to smoke him out, so we're in the middle of a mass information and media war. The other brother, Mohammed, was set up by Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera conducted a telephone interview with him. And then all of a sudden, he said, I've got to go. There are people, they're shooting, they're inside my house, I have to go. So, at the end of the day, the media and NATO are not presenting the true facts. The pictures that they're showing of celebrations in Green Square is not Green Square, and it's not live. So they're showing you old pictures. This is, remember 9/11 when they showed pictures of people in Palestine celebrating, and then it turned out it was old stock footage of people celebrating, right? The same thing that's going on right now. So you know, we had a shooting, a riot, an invasion. We got mass looting by the government and the populace. So the government and the populace are in sync. Okay, Syria had the right idea, and that was wipe out all the insider insurgents. Okay, all the troublemakers, all the ones who were funded, all the disgruntled people who didn't know how to fit into the system, who thought it was good to take up weapons because they were being funded by the West. Those people needed crushing straight away, because all they were going to cause was instability and give NATO another opportunity to come in and rape another country. So Syria had the right idea. But remember, Libya is not the Middle East. Libya is Africa. And NATO has just bombed and is about to invade an African country. Bear that in mind.